So, it has been 100 days since my last video on this dead channel, and Sonic Frontiers having a third update is the perfect timing to resurrect it before I leave it for another 2 months. After almost a year since the game's release, Sonic Frontiers The Final Horizon was released, and after finally beating it after 12 hours over 2 days, I have some feelings. And no, not the romantic kind. And before I get into it, please, there are spoilers, so you've been warned. I was hyped to play this update. It had been months since my last crack at the game, and was so excited for playable characters, and damn, when I saw the screenshots on Twitter regarding playing Knuckles, Tails, and Amy, this is Sonic Adventure 3. And before I get into this, I did set the game to difficult because the franchise has a really bad history of making games actually hard when they say it's hard. And oh boy, that was a mistake. You'll see in a moment. And at first it started simple enough with Amy, but as soon as I went to Knuckles, oh boy, did I have a hard time with some platforming, and to the point that after 4 hours I switched back to easy mode, because my god, it was simply too much. Now see, folks on Twitter keep saying that it's a skill issue, and honestly, there's a point where a game gets hard and then it becomes unreasonable. And that's basically my review on this DLC, an exciting DLC with amazing moments of hype that gets ruined by unforgiving difficulty that breaks the flow of the game. And yes, before y'all comment, I did most of the game on easy mode, and yes, platforming was much better with the balloons and extra stuff, but even then, it was a struggle and a half, and they're calling this easy? Man, people said Sonic games are too easy, and Sega took that personally. But it does not get better as the trials were inconsistent. First tower was okay, but the second tower, it was horrible. Even the game stepped in to make it easier for me. It was so bad. Third and fourth one was so easy, I got so confused of why it was so inconsistent, the difficulty. Why is Tower 2 not the last tower? I was taught as a kid that games should get harder as the game progresses, and Frontiers just did not listen to that assignment. Eventually got to the final tower, and I'ma be real with you, expecting me to have enough rings for 3 bosses that aren't quick to finish, by the way. With only 400 rings, I'm sorry, but that was just unreasonable to expect of me. I don't care what anyone says. That's just pure garbage. If I'd have kept my 900 rings that I earned myself in the open world, I could see it being really fun, but after trying for hours and hours, I'ma be real, as a content creator, I do not have time to lose my mind on this. So yeah, I cheated. What, did you want the review to come out in 5 years? By activating the disable ring loss code on Hedgehog Mod Loader. Because I promise you, this review would have been much worse. So we get to the Supreme boss, and nothing much to say, it was very epic, all that good stuff. But not gonna lie, the Supreme X The End collab both went hard, and they fumbled the bag at the same time, which I'm honestly impressed by. The game throughout the DLC was so poor in terms of explaining things properly, like having to guess what character I needed for what move was so frustrating. At least let me know what I should be aiming for, and then I can figure out the rest. And on the final boss was the same thing, and I saw so many people struggle with this, that if you wanted to get rid of the pink sauce, you had to press an extra button to change where you're aiming on your homing attack and etc. Nowhere in the game does it tell you this. It's so unclear about the hints at times. Like, it took so much trial and error before I gave up and saw another guy do it. And not to mention that the camera just had a mind of its own at times when climbing up the tower, fighting the Supreme X The End. I feel like I'm being a little too mean, so I'm gonna say some nice things about it. I do like the idea of the boss fight, and I really liked the new forms that Supersonic had. Like at the end, where he was turning blue and black and that kind of stuff, kind of like looked like the blue version of Fleetway Sonic. It was epic. The frustration in my mind of how good this DLC is and how poorly thought out it was. It's honestly about as Sonic team as you can get for a game. The fact that I had to use easy mode and ring cheats and I was still struggling, I'm not the most epic of gamers, but that is saying something. And no, saying get good is not a valid response. You're just a fucking moron who can't make good arguments on twitter.com. Overall, I did have fun, but mostly because I was streaming. My overall rating for the DLC is about a 6. So much good stuff clouded by the lack of attention. Considering it is free, I do recommend playing it for yourselves to have your own conclusion, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Thanks for watching.